Well, good morning. It's Monday. What's up? Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show on thepowerofvoices.com. Kicking off another week. Are you ready? A lot going on around the world, huh? Did you guys hear about the scare at the LAX at the Los Angeles airport last night? Yeah, I was at the office and on my way home, and I noticed hovering over right near the airport. You can't hover right over the airport because of the airspace, but there's a couple of helicopters hanging out. I said, wow, what's going on over there? And I really didn't pay too much attention to it. An hour and a half later or so, I found out that there was a report that they thought was gunfire, but apparently it wasn't. But did it cause a real scare and frighten people here in L.A. at the airport? They had to take everybody out of the airport. Can you imagine that? Evacuate the LAX? That's a major job. They had to take people out on the tarmac. So that was a scare, but apparently there was just a loud noise that sounded like a gunfire. Who knows, maybe a maintenance person was doing something and caused something crazy like that to happen. But that just goes to show you that, things like that can happen and really create a real scare. Anyway, welcome to the show. Don't forget to share the show. Let all your friends know about thepowerofvoices.com and all the great shows that we have here. You guys know the former football player Greg Bell. He has a show on the network here. And a lot of other great shows. Full Body Frequency host Laura Rice. She hails out of Chicago. We got another Fat Girl show. It's called A Fat Girl's World. And I'm not picking on the big girls, but boom, shakalaka, laka, boom, boom, boom. So we got a couple of shows for the heavyweights, the overweight lover in the house. You know I can't resist a joke. Come on, folks. You know that's how I roll. What else is happening? Well, the Music Awards was last night. MTV Music Awards. I didn't watch it. I'm just kind of burnt out on these music awards and so-called live shows that really aren't live performances, but the singing. Come on, folks. Y'all got to stop faking the funk. Because DJ Old School, I can't get down with that. I want to hear the real deal. If I'm going to watch a live performance, I want to hear you perform it as close as you can to what the recorded music sounded like. I don't want to hear the recorded music and the recorded vocals. What do I need to go to your show to hear or see that for? I'm just saying. Yeah, Beyonce puts on a great, dynamic, entertaining show. And there are others. But sing it, damn it. Sing the song. You're afraid of being imperfect? So what if you make a little blub, blub, blub? So what? It's human. It's all about being human. And if you're a professional, you know how to cover up a little blub, blub. Learn the art. Anyway, I'll play a little bit of the video from last night for those like me who chose not to watch it. I was busy working. I had stuff to do. I don't have time to sit around and watch some skimpy clothes and painted toes and bells in the nose. You know how it goes. I could go on and on and on and on and make that rhyme. Get real deep. Real deep. But I don't want to offend anyone, and there are kids in the audience, so I'll be cool. What else? The Wiener. The Wiener's back in the news. Former Congressman Anthony Weiner is showing his wiener again. Wow. Come on, man. What's up with that? That's a shame. And Huma, his wife, is now getting flack, and she's out on the out in the media saying, "I give up. I can't do this anymore." And you can't blame her. She's got a pretty nice job. She's an aide to Hillary Clinton, and who wants to blow that gig, right? And as the people on the other side, the right wingers, certainly will make that or try to make that an issue, which to me, you're reaching for straws when you're going to try to make his wife the villain here, make her a bad girl because of his habits. I don't think that's fair. Why should she be removed from her job because of Anthony Weiner? Excuse me. So, that being said, I don't think she should be criticized, made fun of, or anything. Leave her alone. She's a hardworking person, and Anthony is the problem. I don't know what's going on here. Must be a little dust in the room or something. I don't know. But, Anthony, pull it together, bro. You've destroyed your career. You were running for mayor. You lost out on that because you want to show your wiener. Not good, man. Not good at all. But we all are human, and sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we can't help ourselves. So maybe, Anthony, you need to go get some help. You need therapy. And if you are in a therapy program, you need to maybe seek some different therapy because that's not working. It's not working, champ. So pull it together. We don't need these kind of distractions in a presidential election season. Don't need it. Because the opposition is going to try to use this as a political opportunity. Also, Hillary's running ads positioning Donald J., the jackass Trump, as being a racist. And it's easy for one to say that he is based on the things that he's done and said. Now, whether he is or isn't is irrelevant. When you put both feet in mouth, make these outlandish, ridiculous, racist statements, it's very easy for someone to throw stones at you. Right? Makes sense? I'm not making this up. Donald made it up. He did this to himself. And I hate saying it, but I got to keep going back to what I believe and what the yellow brick road leads me to. Donald Trump never intended on being this far into the presidential race. He never wanted to be the president of the United States. For a lot of reasons. When you become the president, there's a clamp on your life. Your life will never be the same. I think he likes to have his freedom, being in the public sector, being a conniving, slippery con artist. He likes that. He enjoys that. That's his world. That's where he lives. That's his thrival space. He doesn't want to be the president. Come on. Now he's too deep. And he's praying that he loses. He wants to hook up with Roger Ailes and others and do some more television / movie, some entertainment stuff because of his ego. His ego is the size of the United States of America. Everything else about him is small, small-minded, small thinking, self-serving, son of a gun. And the apples don't fall far from the tree. I think his children, unfortunately, have grown up under his mindset, and they're pretty much the same. And if by chance he wins the presidency, all I can say is, Lord have mercy. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a circus. Can you imagine him having these flamboyant parties on the White House lawn and all this hooker-looking friends coming out? Come on, man. Who wants that? By the way, I broke my glasses. Those are reading glasses. That's all they are. Over the weekend, so I had to stop by CVS on the way into the office to pick up some little reading glasses. They're a little tight, but they serve the purpose. I break them all the time. Either break them or lose them, leave them somewhere. I know you probably do the same. They're easy to lose and break. They're cheaply made. And plus, I wear these headphones for a couple of 3, 4, 5 hours a day. So that puts pressure on them and it breaks the arms. I have never had a pair of glasses that withstood the pressure of the headphones for any significant period of time. Generally, that's why I don't wear glasses. I do wear contacts because I'm blind. I can't see shit far out. Far out, man. And I need the reading glasses to see stuff close up after I put the contacts in. Take the contacts in, I take them out. I don't need the reading glasses. Is that crazy? I've been thinking about having that eye surgery, the LASIKs. What do y'all think? Anybody out there have had a good experience with it? I hear it's pretty cool. They got it down now. Still pretty expensive, though. What, about a G note or more per eye? And I don't think my insurance covers that. But I would like to get rid of the glasses altogether. And the contacts. What do y'all think? 424-227-9461. If you'd like to chime in on that, give me a little advice on whether or not I should do the glasses or continue to wear the contacts and glasses or just glasses with the bifocals. I don't care about all of that. I'm not a vain person. I don't, worry about cosmetics and stuff like that. That's why my hair is gray and falling out. I don't do the Hollywood thing. I'm just going to be an old rusty dusty. Okay. Just checking out some of the breaking news stories here that might be of interest. Raleigh, North Carolina, police officer, second person taken to the hospital after shots fired. Evacuation orders lifted in Tula County, California, wherever that is. It's connected to the fire that's going on out there. It's a number of miles away from Los Angeles. We're not in any immediate danger with that fire. It's quite a bit east of here. It's in between here and Las Vegas. Let's see. President Obama is expected to reach his goal later today of ushering 10,000 Syrian refugees to the U.S. this fiscal year. And he's being criticized for allowing the refugees to come here. But I think that's just another one of those distractions that the Republicans will use against him. But trust me when I tell you, these people are being investigated. They're not just, signing a few documents and walking in saying free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. No. They're checking into their background. Just like they checked into President Obama's background when he announced to run for president. Of course, they looked at his birth certificate, you jackass Donald Trump. Come on, man. He's never walked away from that. He's never said, yeah, I was wrong. Never. He's never conceded the idea that President Barack Obama is a U.S. citizen. He never walked away from that. He stopped talking about it. He runs away from that question now because he looks like Boo Boo the Fool. Of course, Donald was attacking Hillary because of Weiner's wife. And she's announced that she's done with the Weiner. Pass the mustard, if you please. Oh, Lord have mercy. And I talked about the false report of gunshots or gunfire resulting in a panic last night at the LAX. There's a man dressed as Zorro. Are you kidding me? He was possibly carrying a sword. I bet it was a plastic sword. Zorro at the airport. Can you imagine that? Now, many of you are too young to remember the TV show. It was a black and white. I think it may have eventually changed the color. But it was a hero by the name of Zorro. And he wore a little mask. It kind of looks like a raccoon mask. And a cool hat and a cape. And he would break out his sword. And he's sword fighting with you. And then when he's done with you, he'll put a Z on your chest. Zoop, zoop, zoop. That was so cool. Yes, I watched Zorro. I did. Everybody did. Hell, you didn't have a whole lot to watch. There's only 3 networks back in the day, ABC, CBS, and NBC. You had 3 channels. You might have had a UHF, 1 or 2 up there, but the programming sucked, so nobody watched that. So it was Zorro, Ed Sullivan, Dick Van Dyke. You remember that? I Dreamed of Jeannie. Mayberry. All those black and white shows, man, they were kind of cool. Well, we had nothing to compare it to back in those days. I don't know. I don't particularly care for them now, I guess because things have progressed and become more technologically advanced. In the script writing, I think is probably a little better, maybe in some cases. But I've never been in Seinfeld and those kind of shows, sitcoms. They never got me excited. I was never a fan of that show, Seinfeld. A lot of people liked it, but I just didn't get down with that slapstick, I don't know. That brand of comedy couldn't hold my attention. What was it? 90210. My daughter used to watch that. Why are you watching that idiotic crap? Oh, Dad, you're just old. And your point is what? Keep living, sister. But yeah, it's kind of different today. I mean, we got a lot more channels, a lot more programming, but a lot of it sucks. I'm behind on my favorite show. Man, I got to catch up. I'm about 2, maybe 3 weeks behind on The Last Ship. You guys watch that on TNT? Now, that's my kind of show. The Last Ship. If you don't know what that is, you need to check it out. This is the 3rd season, and it's all based around a virus that broke out that spread across the world. And in the 1st season, the president at that time sent out this battleship with a couple of scientists, doctors on it, to find this cure to this virus that was killing people all over the world. So they went out, and they did discover this cure. And by the time they came back to Norfolk, Virginia, my hometown, the president was dead, and most of his cabinet and a couple of renegades had taken over. And it was basically the country was divided up in 2 to maybe 3 fractions, if you will. The people who were pretending they were trying to help the people, the new government, which were a couple of down the way cabinet members who had turned corrupt. Then there were people who were immune to the disease. They couldn't catch it. So they were running a scam. They were corrupt. And they were actually assisting in killing more people. Then they got this senator who eventually became the president, and they were trying to run him as the president, the people who were immune to the disease. And then when the captain of the ship discovered these people, he went in and saved the senator and eventually got him to be the president on the right side of things for the betterment and the good of the people and the world. So anyway, they found this cure, and then they began to distribute the cure around the world to help people all over. Well, of course, during the time, we had to have a little scrimmage with a Russian ship who was trying to get access to this cure. So we had to spank them and get them to walk away. Now, in the third season, just kind of move it up, the thing they were fighting with now is China. And China had done some corrupt stuff, and appears, the last show that I saw, it appears that China had gotten the cure, of course, we gave it to them, but then they were mixing it up with some bad medicine and killing off people. So that it's kind of twisted, but it could happen. It could. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but something like this could happen. But it's very entertaining. I like military stuff, so that's what initially captured my eye, the whole military involvement. But it's entertaining. Check it out. It's called The Last Ship on the TNT network. It's new episodes on Sunday. Out here on the West Coast, it runs at 9 p.m. I think it's 8 Central, I believe. But anyway, check it out. Check your local listings. You're listening to The Lee Michaels Show on thepowerofvoices.com. The show is live on Facebook, YouTube. We send out messages on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and sometimes I stream it on other platforms, but it's more of a hassle. But anyway, we do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until noon. Okay? So spread the word. Tell all your friends. Share the show on the Facebook page and your Twitter and Instagram, and YouTube. And you can go back and watch the show anytime, day or night, because the shows are archived on Facebook and YouTube. And an audio portion of the show is also on our website at thepowerofvoices.com. And you can also download our app at either the Apple or the Android stores. So we got everything that you need. It's no problem. Download it, have fun with it, and spread the word. Nope, Tammy, you're out of here. That's a wrong theme song. I do that from time to time. What's up with that? I mean, come on. We don't want to hear that right-wing nutball whack job theme song on this show. No, you got to have a groove. Compliments of Andre Michael, who arranged and produced this track for the show. Thank you, Andre. It's a jam. Check out those horns. Somebody's killing that wah-wah. Real music. Ain't no sampling in there. Ah! Make you want to play drums, huh? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back.
Welcome to the new world of talk radio, thepowerofvoices.com.
Attention Las Vegas residents. Olympic Cleaning Services is the company for all your green cleaning needs. Call us now, 866-984-7444. Olympic Cleaning Services specializes in residential, commercial, construction, move-in, move-out, carpet cleaning, auto detailing, and we also provide emergency services when you need it. Call us now, 866-984-7444. For all first-time customers, you'll receive 15% off. Call us now, 866-984-7444, or go to OlympicCleaningservices.com. Go green today.
I'm Nancy Renee.
And I'm Adrienne Shapiro.
We're the founders of Access Advocacy, a nonprofit for the benefit of people with sickle cell disease.
We provide education and support for families, caregivers, and the medical community.
Join us every Tuesday at noon Pacific Time on thepowerofvoices.com.
We'll talk about current issues, what's on the horizon for treatment, and how to help families living with chronic diseases. And we look forward to you joining us on Tuesdays at noon Pacific on thepowerofvoices.com.
Isn't it time to put a beautiful video on your website that clearly explains your products and services? Yes, it is. You're missing out on letting potential customers see for themselves all the great things you can offer them. Let CCM make a commercial or promotional video to showcase your business. Call 626-344-8314. Time to get with the program. Make a commercial or promo video for your business today.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
Who says you can't have fun and learn at the same time? Thepowerofvoices.com.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Lee Michaels Show on thepowerofvoices.com. Thank you so much for listening and watching the show on Facebook Live and YouTube as we live stream Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. Pacific time. Big announcement coming up on September 7th up in San Francisco at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. Bill Graham was a big concert promoter up in the Bay Area. For those of you who may not know, big concert promoter, so they named a auditorium after him. Apple is going to make this big announcement on the 7th of September, introducing, of course, a new iPhone and possibly changes to the Apple Watch. And this new phone, they're saying, will probably have 2 cameras on the front side of it so that you can play around with the focus. So you can blur the background and make the foreground crystal clear and little gadgets like that. So these phones are becoming more and more sophisticated cameras. And that's important because of the live streaming that everybody's doing nowadays. It's a lot of fun. The power of the smartphone is just, it's incredible. You can carry this little powerful device with you wherever you go and capture whatever moment that might be happening. I see people just walking down the street, just broadcasting and talking about what they see. Well, look, there's a cute little dog there and blah, 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 blah. I remember when all of the streaming first started, it was kind of raw, I'll say, and amateur. And it's interesting because the periscopers, these guys are like, the scopers are like mad dogs. I'm not a scoper. I can't do that. It's a different mindset. First of all, it gives me a headache to watch and listen to the scopers because they're constantly interrupting their thoughts. If they're carrying on a conversation, they go, oh, hey, Bill. Hey, thanks for coming in, Bill. And then they go back to the conversation. Hey, Jackie, thanks so much. Girl, we got to get together real soon. And then go back to the conversation. That drives me freaking bonkers. And I don't know if it's because, I'm a radio guy and I'm listening in that fashion. But their storytelling is constantly being interrupted because they feel like they have to say hello to everybody that tunes in. And then the other thing that I don't like is they limit how many people can actually participate in the back and forth, the banter, the chatting. So after you hit a few hundred people, anybody else can't get in. They can't send a message. And then if you're really going to do this thing and make it interactive, as I see it, if I was streaming on Periscope or Meerkat or, some of the others that are out there, UPeak is my favorite, but doesn't have the audience size that some of the others have. But I like their technology better. It's crystal clear and just it's a better technology. But anyway, to make a long story short here, if you're going to do Periscope or Meerkat or some of the others out there, do that. Don't ignore the people that are sending you messages. They're asking you questions, and you're not responding to it. So if you're going to do the interactive thing, you got to do it to the max. You can't just set the phone over there off to the side and just let it roll and ignore it. That's why I opt not to go in that direction and go with the traditional broadcast method using YouTube and Facebook. And I do occasionally look at what you're saying, and I always look at your comments after the show so they don't go unseen. But for me as a broadcaster, it's kind of an interruption unless you're going to have a show that's geared directly to that. Now, if you're going to do that, that's okay. That's okay if you're going to get enough interaction. My question is, where is live streaming going to be a year from now or 5 years from now? Where will it be? Will it continue to grow and morph into being something bigger than what it is now, or will it hit a peak and just die off? That's a good question. And I don't think anybody knows what that looks like a year or 5 years down the road. One thing we know for sure, things are always changing. Snapchat. You guys get into that? I have a Snapchat app on my phone, and I think I may have used it once, maybe twice. But again, that's a little short 7 or 10 seconds worth of banter. You have to stop and then start over again. I don't know. Maybe my brain is just not wired to deal with that. But there's a lot of Snapchappers. People are chatting it up on there. Having fun. And that's what, a lot of it is all about fun. That was one of the early adapters to another one called blab.im. And I thought that had a lot of hope and promise because it allowed you to have 4 people, like the Hollywood Squares. Remember how that was laid out? You could have 4 people in a video chat interacting with each other. And then you had over on the right-hand side of the screen, you had the actual chat room. So people could ask questions, make comments, and what have you, and blah, 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 blah. And you could share it out to other social media platforms. I thought that was pretty cool. But unfortunately, they recently shut it down to revamp it. And the direction they've decided to go into, I'm not sure is really going to be that successful because they're gearing to just the chit-chat. People that just want to get in there and just chew the fat with each other. And I don't know how you make money with that. Where does that business model take you? Is that ad-supported? Certainly it's not going to be a subscription-based because nobody's going to want to pay to go in there and just bovine. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure where they're going to go with that. I think where they've had the problem or the failure in how they presented it, and I think it's so key, so important from day one, how you roll out a product, service. It's all content driven. They left it free form, and it was up to us as the content creators to come in and do whatever you wanted. Kind of no rules, no real limitations. But as with anything, if you don't have great content, I think where they lost the grip on it was they didn't go out and seek good content providers and say, hey, look, come in here. And even if they had to give them a little stipend, little money to come in and bring some great content in, then they missed out. And I'll use that as an example, and I'll point back to another, I think, marketing failure, satellite radio. When there were 2, it was XM and Sirius. And they both came out about the same time, a little different approach in their technology, but the end result was you can get in your car and you can roll coast to coast and listen to your favorite channel. And you could go from one channel to the other, whatever, 100, 150 different choices. A lot of it, the programming was not that great. Then the other thing was where I think they went wrong, because you had to buy a new radio or an adapter to go into your car or a portable version of it. Where they went wrong was they should have made at least 10 channels free, and if you had to insert commercials, so be it. The American public and most people around the world are already cool with the idea of commercials. We support and embrace that every day on the local radio stations. So if they're giving us 10 free channels without having to pay other than buying this new damn radio, so the consumer already had to make an investment, right? So I think that's what they did wrong. I think they would have gotten more people to utilize this service, especially in the beginning. And then if I got hooked on the concept with the 10 free with the commercials in it, then I might have paid the $9 or $10 or $15 or $12 a month for the commercial-free channels. So I think, the carrot wasn't given to entice people to make the $100, $150, $200, because when those radios came out initially, they were pretty expensive. So the two networks, Sirius and XM, are competing for basically the same audience, and they couldn't really make it work as two separate entities. So they had to merge, come together, and become one. And I'm not sure it's any better. It's just all in one place now, Sirius/XM. And there are a couple of decent channels on there, but out of the 100 plus or whatever it is now, because I think XM had more than Sirius, and the way they were able to do that was they sacrificed the quality, because most of it was spoken word, but the spoken word channels was, muffled down, so the quality was not that good. So when they merged together, they dropped some of the channels that XM had and maybe some of the ones that were on Sirius and now whatever the number is. I don't have a subscription to it anymore because that just didn't make sense to me to pay for something that I didn't use. Plain and simple. And the internet, I think, has really stunted the growth of satellite radio as well. When there's so much free programming that you have access to. Because you're going to have the internet one way or the other. So if you want to listen to some music or some videos. And I know a lot of young people that, in the millennial group, don't even have cable television, don't have a landline phone. This is the only device that they use. And they may have a wireless hookup at home, maybe. But some of the unlimited data packages out there, what do you need that for? So the world is changing. Technology is constantly evolving. And I think it's a good thing because it brings the world a lot closer together. 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, during World War I, World War II, the Korean conflict, Vietnam, if it was not for the reporters being on the ground at those battlefields, writing up and doing the old school of actual filming, and then having to send those things back to the U.S., because there was no satellite transmission to speak of during those days. Not until maybe 60s, late 70s, early 70s. But to have a reporter on the battlefield doing a live report was almost impossible because the technology just wasn't there. They sometimes used a ham radio in order to make those connections. But here we are today with the power of your cell phone is probably as powerful as some of the original computers that used to run banks and what have you. Now you're holding that kind of power, a lot more power in the palm of your hand. The processing capabilities of these little handheld devices is so powerful and so small, it's unbelievable. And I saw it coming. My buddy Sal and I used to sit around there in Chicago back in the late 90s, and we were saying, one day, if they ever come up with a cell phone that would see and hear the video streams or the audio streams that we're actually doing now, that's going to revolutionize everything. So to all of the young people who have never heard of a transistor radio, this smartphone device is the modern day version of a transistor radio that I grew up on. It was a little AM, and then later on it came with an AM and FM. Little device that you put some earbuds in and listen to it in mono, no stereo. Forget about it. That's what we had during the 60s and 70s. And things have evolved. Remember the Walkman? Yeah. Little cassette. Then they had the Walkman CD. When was the last time you saw somebody with a Walkman? A Walkman. Can you imagine that? That was revolutionary. A little cassette. You pop it in there. You go jogging, work out, just hanging out, checking out your favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire album. Yeah, well, don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go to the store to buy a cassette or a CD. You can download it right over the internet. I was at a convention. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I want to say it was the Gavin Report, which I had the great time of being the general manager of the Gavin Report, which was a radio trade publication. Worked with a bunch of great people over there. I think it was at a Gavin, and the keynote speaker said that one day you will be able to hook up a device to your telephone line. Now follow this along, and actually download music that you can play on your device at home. It was real raw. It was, but the concept is what he was talking about. So little did he know, maybe, or maybe he did see the vision of the internet. But what he was talking about was using a phone line to dial into a location and making a purchase or whatever and transfer that audio file through your local phone line to a device that you could play it on. So at that point, it was probably, your cassette, because computers to speak of at that point did not have the capability of doing that. And everybody was kind of looking at him like, wow, where's this guy from the moon? Where's he coming up with this? He was close, real close to reality, to what it ended up being, what we have here today. So if you think about, since about 95, 97, 98 to about now, how we have progressed in technology and transmitting audio and video through the internet. I remember my first computer that had a modem, and I used to go and use bulletin boards where you could chat, share files, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, I ran a bulletin board. I had a 4-line bulletin board where 4 people could actually dial into these phone numbers. I had to have 4 lines hooked up at my house and a computer with a special serial port device that would connect the modem to these 4 lines. So 4 people could be in my bulletin board simultaneously chatting with each other, sharing files or doing whatever they wanted to do. That today is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the other social media platforms out there. So we've come a long way. Now, where we're going to be 5 years from now, who knows? Virtual reality? Maybe. Some technologies come and they go and they don't, stick. 3D TV. Who talks about that anymore? 3D TV, and you have to have the goggles and special glasses. There's still a few TVs out there, but that was kind of a short-lived fad. Now it's 4K, 6K, 8K, the definition, the clarity of the TVs, it's almost like 3D without the glasses. When I saw the first 4K Samsung TV, and I had the opportunity to compare it against Sony and some of the others out there, LG, there's 2 or 3 of them. But the Samsung 4K TV blew them all away. It was so dynamic, so crystal, the detail, it was unbelievable. And the price of those have come way down. You know, it first came out, they were $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000. Now you can get one for under $2,000, under $1,000, depending on the size. So as time goes on, the prices come down, the technology advances, and who knows where we'll end up. I mean, just use your imagination. That's what the scientists and the creative people are doing. They're thinking beyond right now. And that's what we have to do, folks. You can't live in the moment of right now. You got to live and think about tomorrow. What do you want? What's going to make you happy? What's going to get you excited? What's going to motivate you? What's going to make your family safe? Where are the new opportunities going to be? That's what we need to think about right now and every day. Because if you don't, you'll be stuck in a rut. You'll be still yesterday. My dreams are so far away. You'll be stuck. It's like your dysfunctional uncle that's still walking around with bell bottoms from 1973. We all have one of those uncles or aunts. They won't come into the new millennium. They're stuck. So those people that have that kind of mindset, they will get left behind. You can't drag them. You can't make them because they don't want to. But if you want to be a part of the new world and be in that groove, making that big change, cha-ching, cha-ching, then you better get a grip. You better understand what that's all about. Change. The world is constantly changing. If you don't change with it, you'll be left behind. You won't progress. And I've seen it happen so much in the 50 years that I've been in the broadcast business. If I didn't embrace the changes that have happened over the years, the technological advancement, the geographic differences, as I've traveled around working with radio groups from coast to coast, Northeast, South, and West, Midwest, all over. So I've had the opportunity to taste it all, to get a feel for it all. And it's all different. And it should be. So if I was still trying to do things the way we did it in 1970 or 1975, I would not have been successful. I'd been stuck wherever I was at that point. I would have been stuck in Norfolk, Virginia. I would have been stuck in St. Louis or Atlanta or Houston, San Francisco, L.A., New York, Baltimore, Washington, Charlotte, North Carolina. If I allowed my mind to stop growing and stop receiving the changes, things that evolve. So my recommendation to anyone, whether you're young or old, embrace and accept change. Some changes are not always going to be good. There's no question about that. But you need to be able to dissect, filter through, and say, okay, this looks good. This makes sense. or I need this. Keyword, I need this. There's a big difference between I want this and I need this. We may want some things that we don't need. It's just the way the world works. Sometimes we want things that we just don't need.
And what would that be?
$150,000 Mercedes. I want it, but I don't need it.
Keith, what's up?
Who is that?
I'm listening. I'm listening to the philosopher here.
That's right. Well, it's your fault. It's your fault, Mr. Adams. Here's one of my creators, Keith Adams. How you doing, buddy?
I'm just doing great. You know, that reminds me of a sign that I saw the other day when I was driving down the road. It was a hardware store.
Uh-huh.
And the sign said, if we don't have it,
you don't need it. That's the damn truth.
But Keith, I need to tell you he's on the air. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Lee, how are you, man? You don't have to apologize.
No.
This is real.
That's how I roll.
I better not stutter then. Okay?
That's right. Put that microphone in front of you.
That's funny.
Oh, I got some Keith Adams stories on that one.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I remember one time Keith had me in his office up in Oakland. And I had done something stupid on there, and he was reaming my butt out, right?
Yeah.
And he was having a hard time getting to the point. I said, hold up, man. Hold up. I ran in the production room and grabbed the old Sennheiser mic and ran back in and put it in front of him. He started talking clean, no stuttering, no nothing.
You talking about the black Sennheiser mic?
Yeah, I think it's called a 421 or something like that. Yeah, I brought that mic in there, and he straightened up, boy. He was so smooth. He kicked my ass big time. He's,
I know, because he could do that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, you smart ass. And after that, he laid into me, man, and I almost cried. That was one of the worst ass whippers I ever had from a program director.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it. I appreciate it because he made me a better jock.
Yeah.
That he did. So what are you doing, man? What? Wait a minute. Let me ask you a question, Keith. Then don't lie. You're going to go to hell for lying now.
Well, you don't usually lie.
How many?
If that's the case, I'm doomed.
All right, today is the 29th of August. This month,
okay.
How many chocolate cakes, brownies, chocolate chip cookies, bags of potato chips, or any of the stuff that you're not supposed to eat, how much of that have you had? Crickets.
So,
I hear crickets.
I'd say about maybe in the last month.
Yeah. This month.
Oh, maybe about 10 servings.
Of what? Of each?
Of cake.
Of cake? So you've eaten the whole cake, in other words. You know what,
well,
Keith?
You know, I went to Trader Joe's yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, because they have a chicken pot pie to die for. Yeah.
Okay, that's not so bad, but that's not like a whole chocolate cake.
Well, no. But while I was there, they had a cold chocolate decadent cake. So I picked that up too.
Because it looks so good.
Yeah. I had a piece of that decadent chocolate last night.
Uh-huh.
And I had to take some extra insulin.
Just to nullify that puppy.
Yeah.
Well, be careful, man. We want to keep you around for a long time.
Well, you know, now for the rest of your listeners, now that's not necessarily the right thing to do.
No, it is not.
No shit.
Not when you're a
That's
diabetic.
just what I did.
Okay.
But it's not the right thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, you're doing a lot better than what you used to, because if this was a year or two ago or 10 years ago, half of that cake would have been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it would have been gone yesterday.
and looking around for some brownies at that point, right?
Well, I keep a bag of Oreos on standby.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So Keith, share with Lee what you're doing now.
Hey man, I just told Barry I'm driving Uber.
That's a big deal, man. My son drives in Vegas from time to time. Not lately because he had neck surgery, but he was telling me he picks up several $100s a day doing that.
Wow.
Hey, it's easy.
No kidding.
In fact, I used to work when I worked for Sleep Train. I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Okay.
Every holiday. Now I schedule myself to work. In fact, I'm going out today at about 2 o'clock. I'll come in at 10 o'clock. I'll work 8 hours. I'll do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Friday, I may work 6 hours.
Okay.
But then I take Saturday and Sunday off.
Interesting.
Now, I'm getting ready to add Thursday to my off days because of the football season.
All right. Well, that's great, man. So you're doing well with that. You're making a lot of money?
Well, I had to trade in my BMW convertible and got a Ford Fusion hybrid.
Okay.
Really. I went from 18 miles per gallon to 44.
There you go.
So when I go to Costco, it costs me $26 if I'm empty to fill it up, and I got a range of 550 miles.
That's sweet. How many gallons does it hold?
13.
Wow.
That's all you need, huh?
Yeah, man.
That's it.
So now, do you go through a tank of gas in a week? Or you go through more than that, right?
I put about a season. Now that's the other thing. I have to put half of my money away, not to pay taxes because I got enough write-offs for that. But I bet you do. But I gotta replace this car.
Yeah, that's true. So this is a hybrid, right?
Yeah, but I'm putting 50,000 miles a year on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in 4 years, it's shot.
Yeah. Well, maybe you will only have to do this for a couple of years, and then you'll make so much money you can sit back and relax. Unless you plan to live to be 112, you better keep driving.
I plan on doing this.
Stop being funny, Lee.
Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, I think he was.
I'm so old now that some of that shit just goes right by me.
I'm sending Scud missiles in, and he's missing all of them.
Right. Don't worry about it. I got both of y'all's backs.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're out there doing something and keeping busy.
Well, it keeps me from watching CNN all day long.
Right. That'll drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was just...
and I don't mind as a devil's workshop, and you ain't going to make no money. Hello?
That's right. You're absolutely right.
But, to me, it's having something to do, being out driving every day. Mm-hmm. In fact, sometimes instead of San Francisco, I'll drive Orinda, Lafayette, just to go up in the pretty country.
Now, where do you make the most money? Are they airport runs or just neighborhood kind of things?
No, actually, you make the most money going to San Francisco because you don't have to drive as much as the city is not that big.
Right. So you're picking up a lot of fares all the time.
And you have a lot of fares.
Gotcha.
Right.
It's amazing because I mean that's what everybody's talking about. Either Uber or Lyft.
Lyft. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, Lyft has a program now where if you drive 75 trips a week, they'll give you a car free.
Really?
No kidding.
Yeah, they'll pay the rent on it, they'll pay the maintenance on it, and they will pay the insurance on it.
Get out of
No
here.
kidding. Wow.
75 hours,
Yeah.
though. That's a lot of driving.
No. 75 trips.
Trips. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In I work about 40 hours a week, and I do about 80 trips.
Okay.
Mm.
So
So
it's
you
a,
Thinking
not
about
much-
going to Lyft?
Oh no! I already have a car.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he'd have to be
But
cloned.
I mean, it might not be a bad idea to switch because then I could take the pressure off of the car I just bought.
Right.
So yeah, it's something to look at. It's just that I'm so busy with Uber, I haven't had a chance.
Now I understand
to turn
Uber.
on my Lyft app.
Now Uber pays a little higher percentage, right? Than Lyft.
I'm not sure. Because see, I only work during the surges.
Okay.
They have surge pricings at
Right.
different times of the day.
That's true.
And up here it's from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and then noon till 6 on Saturday. So, if I'm going to work a Saturday, I'm going to work noon to 6. I'm sorry, noon to 6 on Friday. Noon to 6 on Friday.
Okay.
So, I only work during the surges because the surges pay either 1.5 or 1.7 times the regular rate.
Yeah, I got hit with one of those surges coming from the airport one night, and I'm not even 2 miles from the airport. And what would normally cost maybe $8 was like $16 or $18. So almost it was double.
Yeah. Because in Los Angeles, you'll have two times. We don't necessarily have that up here because we have so many drivers.
Okay. Yeah, it's based on supply and demand.
Yeah.
Now,
That's interesting.
now, how do you feel about safety? You feel pretty safe with what you're doing, driving Uber?
Well, I'm 6'3", 260, and a burly black guy. I ain't gonna have no problem.
I heard that.
Wait a minute, 6'3" and
I see a lot of women driving Uber, but they drive the morning shift.
Okay.
Okay, because see, there's another surge from 7 a.m. till 10 a.m.
Yeah, going to work. Yeah.
Well, and going to school and classes and stuff. I mean, the map is red during those hours. It's so many calls and requests.
Interesting.
Okay. But I see a lot of women on the road driving Uber and Lyft, but I see them driving during the day, during the daylight.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because you got invariably the weirdos are going to come out, and you're going to have some issues, I'm sure.
But see, here's the thing, because I'll drive East Oakland. I don't have a problem with it because people who use Uber have credit cards.
Right.
It's a cashless transaction.
Exactly.
Okay, so with a credit card, it's kind of hard to get in the car and do something bad because we know who you are and where to find you.
Yeah, that's true. Right. That is true.
Right.
Unless you're doing some identity theft.
So, Keith, do you have a camera in the car?
No. I have what I have in the car are two wires to charge either a Android or a iPhone.
I'm gonna come up there and hook you up with a dash cam, so that you can do a live stream and interview the people in the back seat. Keith going live from Uber. You know me, I'm always thinking Uber live.
I got a feeling he kind of likes that.
Now, I've had some customers who you would probably enjoy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's called Keith Gone Wild. Man, I miss you so much, boy. I tell you, we used to have some big fun.
Well, we can still think about it and have some fun in our mind.
That's all that's left, huh? In our minds.
Yes. Well, at least we got that.
Now, Barry, what the hell are you laughing so hard at? It wasn't that funny.
Well, because I got both my mentors on the phone. Y'all still crazy. And then, hey, wait a minute. Then y'all wonder why I'm crazy.
Yeah. Well, I apologize.
Yeah, you should. So, Keith,
It wasn't my fault.
The way this started was, Lee was on the air getting mad and in a tirade about social media. That's the way this started. And I thought it was interesting when I called you and you told me what you were now doing. And I'm like, well, shit, now, let me call Lee. You mind? You say, yeah, call him. You didn't know he was on the air.
So now, evidently these broadcasts are not monitored by the FCC because I hear Barry's mouth, and I'm going.
Yeah, we can kind of get away with that.
Isn't that one of the 7 words?
Yeah, it was on commercial radio. We get away with all kind of bullshit now.
Well, we on cable radio now.
Okay.
Anything goes,
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, man.
Well, then, if that's the case, let me tell you about some of the sluts we get in my car and the conversations they have.
No kidding. Oh, come on. Let's hear it. Well, tell me, give me an example.
I'm ready.
Let me lay back in my chair.
Yeah. Let me recline my car seat.
I tell you, man, as the father of 5 grown women, it's embarrassing to hear these girls.
No kidding. Unfiltered, huh?
Hey, man, I mean, it's like, oh, God. They just talk about why he didn't do what he should have done when I did what I did.
Oh, no.
And they don't have any inhibitions, huh?
Oh, none whatsoever. I had one girl get in my phone, and she's on the phone with her doctor talking about her rash. And
some people have no shame.
And she bleeding all over the place. And
Dang.
Oh, my God.
I said, oh, man. I mean, that's more than I need to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's real, though.
TMI, too much information.
Well, yeah. It was real to her. It was real to her, I guess.
Exactly.
That was the only time she could get her gynecologist on the phone was in my car, huh?
Wow. That's deep. That is crazy. I guess she feels like, well, hey, I probably won't see this guy ever again.
That is deep, no pun intended.
Yeah, I thought so. Now, I'm going to tell you,
Keith. So, Keith, were you looking in the rearview mirror when all this shit was going on?
No. In fact, I was trying to get this child to where she had to go as quickly as possible.
Immediately.
See, you didn't want her bleeding on your back seat, right?
And you know what? Come to think of it.
Oh, no.
I took her to a location. She lived in the projects where I used to drive my school bus.
No.
I used to drive a 90-foot school bus until they put kids in it.
Wow. Good Lord, man.
Say it was fun until they put the kids in the school bus.
That was the funniest shit I've heard all month.
That was good. Did you rehearse that line or what?
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait till I get Lee and Barry on the phone. I'm going to drop this one on him. That was good.
That was excellent.
I didn't see that one coming.
No, me neither. He hit us blindly.
Dang. Well, in your old age, you're starting to get funny.
Yeah, man. Well, he's always been funny and mean too.
Well, you know,
Oh boy.
with age, we're a little uninhibited, so we tend to do and say things that we wouldn't have normally done and said.
That is true. That is so true.
And we don't apologize for being ourselves, you know.
Oh no! You either take me as I am or get the hell out of my face.
Yeah, take that shit up the street somewhere. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's funny. That was a good one, Keith.
Man.
I'm gonna write that one down.
So Lee,
Yes, sir.
Lee, how you doing, man?
I'm hanging. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm having
How's
fun.
your
Still
health?
having fun on the radio.
You're taking care of your health.
Yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. I could stand to lose maybe 5 or 6 pounds.
Last time I saw you, you could stand to lose 15 or 16.
Yeah, but you haven't seen me in a long time.
I was about to say, parenthetically speaking.
That was wrong, man. That was wrong.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Listen.
No, you're not.
Don't you broadcast your show live? Can't people watch you doing your show?
That they can see me right now.
YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
And Facebook.
And we can see that face on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And we can see them 15 pounds on that face.
Hey, occasionally he'll forget the cameras on him, Keith.
You know what? Y'all got to understand that I control the horizontal and the vertical. I can cut your ass off in a New York second.
You can control all you want to. When them jaws start flapping, we see 15 pounds.
Well, you know, TV will tend to put 10 or 15 on you anyway.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, you're right, Lee. So I guess you need to lose 30 pounds.
All right, okay. All right, smart butt. Okay, I weigh 188 pounds. The heaviest I've ever been in my life was 205.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now,
all right.
When Keith was 15, he was weighing more than 205.
I was a middle guard. I needed to weigh that.
Well, you did apparently, huh?
You're right. That's right.
Yeah, you had to do what you had to do.
I had to plug a hole.
Yeah. Now you don't want to get stuck in that hole, huh?
Right.
When you're stuck, I want to plug it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got 5 jokes I could use on that one, but I'll keep it clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm in pretty good health. I'm not on any medication.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I don't take any medication at all. I might need some for my psychological problems. But
well, you know,
when was the last time that you had a PSA test?
Just over a year ago now.
Okay, well,
not only
every 2 years.
Yeah, not only did I do the PSA, man, they ran the scope up my wiener.
Yeah, well, that's good because they have to look. Oh, wait a minute, your wiener or your boo boo?
No, my wiener.
Wow.
Oh man.
So you had syphilis?
You never had that?
Oh no.
So you had syphilis?
No, hell no. No, I thought I had a prostate issue, and so they did an exploratory thing. And, you know, they take the little scope and go up your wiener and look around.
Yeah.
You ain't a man till you had that.
Man.
No, they didn't. They didn't look at mine. I would have remembered that.
And Keith and Barry, what's crazy is they don't put you to sleep.
Wow.
No, you're sitting there watching what they're doing on a big TV screen.
Well, you got to remember, my daughter's an anesthesiologist. They're going to put me to sleep. I'm going to tell them exactly what to do.
Tell them all the drugs and everything.
You know, we're joking about that, but you can tell them, you know, how you want it done or whatever. You know?
Yeah, I had the option.
Absolutely.
They gave me an option to go to the hospital and get it done or do it right there in the doctor's office. I said, hey, man, listen, I'm so tough. This is how tough I am. Instead of shaving, I take a ball-peen hammer and beat the hairs back on the inside of my mouth and bite them off. So bring it on. Bring your little scope on out here. Let me see what you got.
Yeah, well, Keith, we both know that he had pain. He probably tried to renege as it was going in his penis.
No.
I can hear him now. Hold back.
No, Keith, I was cool. I was cool until the nurse walked in. I said, what's she doing here? You going to pull my wiener out with this lady in the room? She said, I've seen them all. I said, I'm sure you have. But
I bet you a nickel to a donut that you didn't get through the dry shave.
Right. Hey, look, Keith, I bet you he didn't think about no shaving there.
I bet you a nickel to a donut he fainted at the dry shave.
The nurse probably walked in and said, who is that on the floor there?
I said to him, doctor, what is she going to do? He said, she's going to hold it. I said, she is.
I knew it. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I said, okay, I'm good then. Let's roll.
Is this test over yet?
No, check it out.
Yet?
No, here's the funny thing,
I just
though.
want to know. I just need to know, did she use tweezers?
Oh, no. She had to use both hands, dog.
Hey, wait a minute. Did he go there?
No, she had to use both hands. It was a double down. But takes two hands to handle a whopper. No, but check it out. You guys
hey, look, I got to share this with y'all. I guess about 2 months ago, I went for my annual checkup and shit, and I got a female doctor, and she did all the tests and everything. Next thing I know, she's talking about, well, you're going to have to take these pills to lower your blood pressure, and you're no longer borderline diabetic. You are type 2. And I'm like, and then she gave me the prescription. Man, I started crying. I was saying, you mean I got to take these, excuse my language, motherfucking pills the rest of my life?
Yep.
And she said, yeah. I said, ow.
Well, I'm going to tell you, actually, you're fortunate because now you're just taking pills. If you don't behave and eat right and drink a lot of water and exercise, then you're going to have
type 1.
No. He'll still be type 2, but they're going to add to the pills 2 different shots that you have to take every day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I hate needles.
Oh, no. You're going to take some shots. You either going to eat right, exercise, or you going to take some shots.
That's it.
Oh, man.
You ain't got no choice, bro.
I may as well start crying now there.
No, but let me finish telling you guys the story because I want you to be prepared so when you go in to have this procedure done. So then he pulled out the magic wand. I said, well, what's that for? He goes, well, this is what we're going to use to go up your penis. I said, you are?
Damn.
This thing was about 18 inches long.
Wow.
And it didn't look like it was going to go through the hole. I said, how are you going to do that? He goes, oh, we're just going to give you a little shot here of some solution to go in the hole here. And no worries. You'll be okay. I said, oh, no, Doc. I don't know about this one. You didn't tell me that stuff up front. He says, man, don't worry about it. You won't feel much at all. So they wiped a little thing around, your wiener. And it kind of deadened it a little bit. But not enough. Not quite enough, because I did feel that initial pain. But, all in all, I survived it, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like, you were jacked up for another 24 hours or anything like that. So it wasn't that bad.
So you could use your penis. You could urinate and shit.
Oh yeah.
Did you get a sting?
Just a little, but not much.
Mm.
Not.
Well, did they find anything?
No, they didn't. I was good. So it was all a waste of time.
So now, did you do a upper and a lower GI?
No, I didn't do that this time.
Well, that's what you need to do because.
Well, what is that?
Well, that's when they do the same thing that they did to him, but they go in the other hole.
Okay.
Not the little hole, but the big hole.
I have had that done, but I didn't do it this time.
No. They go in the big hole and they check the lower gastrial intestines.
Okay.
And then they go up high and check the upper gastrial.
Now, I've never had the upper. Okay. I've only done the lower.
But what they're looking for is polyps.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I had mine, they removed 4 big polyps. You got to get them polyps out because that's what turns to cancer.
That's those leftover Milky Way bars.
In fact, I'm due to have another one now. Because I had my last one 2 years ago. They found 4 big ones on me.
Yeah, yeah. They popped those out and they put them under the scope.
You got to keep checking that, and that's why you want to have a lower and an upper GI.
Right.
Okay.
I've never had the upper. I've had the lower.
That won't be as painful as what Lee had, because like I say, they go in the big hole for that one.
Yeah.
But now, did they put you out, or you were?
I'd rather that.
Did you go? Now, Keith, when they did the
did
upper.
I just say that?
Yes, you did. Hey,
ain't no Gary Star happening here, partner.
Oh, you're wrong. Now, Keith, did you go to sleep?
Louis boy, so we know how you think.
Now, Keith, when they did the upper and lower, did you?
This is a damn good show here, partner.
You guys are not listening. You got to listen now. Hold on.
Yeah, man.
There's an important question. It's an important question here.
Lee?
Yes.
He's probably doing a commercial.
You can't hear me? Why can't you hear me? I'm right here. I'm talking to you. You're not responding. What'd you do?
Well, it looks like he is.
I'm here. I got somebody else calling too.
Keith, we may have lost him.
I'm here.
Well, like I said,
welcome to the show.
Well, no, he's got a show to do, man. Let him do his show.
Well, we're part of it. Shit, he was sitting there.
I don't know what those guys are doing. They can't hear me. Caller, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
And who do we have on the phone?
Spy Boy.
Spy Boy, I'm glad you're on the phone, man.
He's getting content from us.
Spy Boy, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I don't know why these other guys can't hear me any longer because you can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, actually, it's time for me to go to work, bro. I have a job.
See, they're still having a conversation over there. I've been worried about you, Spy Boy. Where you been, man?
I've been busy, taking care of a little business, and I had a little spell, of illness there. So,
that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, trying to take care of myself.
Well, that's good. You're doing okay now, right?
I'm doing well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear from you. Although, it's kind of nice to get a break from your bovine, but I'm glad that your health is okay. Because that's, in fact, Carol, every other day she's been asking about you. She says, have you heard from Spy Boy? And she's going to be disappointed because she's not here today.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You got a fan in Carol.
Oh, you'll have to tell Carol. I'll call and tell her hello myself.
Yeah, that'll be good. She would appreciate that. So what have you been up to? What kind of mischief have you been in?
Oh, I've been just taking care of business, like I say, trying to make $1 like everybody else out here.
Right.
And just been paying attention from a distance, keep it quiet.
Right.
Trying not to cause any trouble.
Right. Hang on 1 second here. I think I got Barry and Keith back on here. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, Keith?
Yeah, I got you.
I don't know what happened. I didn't change anything. You guys did something on your end, I think. Because I could hear you guys loud and clear. You were just carrying on, and you couldn't hear me for some reason.
Oh, Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting in the Walmart parking lot here in Moreno Valley.
Well, that's what
So
that's what the
that's
problem
why-
is. They said they're not going to let you use up all their bandwidth, so they shut you down.
Well, Benfica them. Don't worry about what Benfica means.
Okay. All right. I won't do that. But anyway, in the meantime, Spyboy called in, so now we have another caller on the phone with us. Spyboy down in New Orleans. Now, Spyboy, were you affected by the flooding and anything?
No, I was.
That was primarily up around Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, it was Baton Rouge, north of the lake, and some of the surrounding areas up there really took a beating.
Yeah. Do you have any family up that way?
Yeah, I have my father and I have an aunt, cousins live up there.
How did they fare with the storm? They okay?
Ironically, some of them got chased away by the Hurricane Katrina, and so they were chased up to Baton Rouge. And apparently this storm had chased them down to New Orleans.
Okay.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you live in an area that has water. I guess Los Angeles area wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Well, that's good that they were okay, because it was pretty devastating from what I understand. I follow a young lady, Rubia Garcia, down in your town, and she took a couple of truckloads, I believe, of food and goods up there to help the people out. So it's good that people are coming together to help out in that respect,
Right. Well, I think that's where our country does not get enough credit, but we help people in need. And the response has been just generous and it's been overwhelming for some folks.
That's great.
I know of a couple of people who did work with church to help the parishioners and get their homes together.
Spyboy, can you get a little closer to your microphone? It sounds like you might be on a speakerphone. Is that correct?
I have the earbuds.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I'm getting a little echo, a little feedback kind of thing. Unless that's Barry. Barry, do you have your speakerphone on?
Oh, yeah, I got my car speakers on.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I'm hearing. But anyway, I'm so good to hear from you, Spyboy. Now, I got to ask you a question, because I was talking to a professor from Spelman a couple weeks ago, and somehow your name came up in the conversation. And I said, yeah, that's as bad as Spyboy, or something to that effect. She said, Spyboy? What do you know about a Spyboy? Now, she's from New Orleans, but she's a professor up at Spelman now. And she said, which Spyboy is this? I said, well, is there more than one? So she began to explain to me the history, or the what the whole Spyboy thing is. Now, you involved in is it like an Indian or some kind of tribal thing?
Yes, it's like Indians as costume. They come out for Mardi Gras and for various times of the year throughout the city. I am not one of the New Orleans Indians.
Okay, so you just hijacked the name.
I thought it was a cool name, and I decided to take it.
Well, she told me to be careful about the Spyboy, because he's a dangerous guy.
Well, these Indians that we have here are some dangerous cats themselves.
Yeah.
They have a history of cutting each other up pretty bad in the real, not metaphorically, but really fighting. And they've really have morphed into a friendly, tribe people, and they really put on a great show when they come out.
So these are real natives.
These are African American, the black folks, who are honoring the Indians who helped the slaves back so many years ago.
I got you. Okay, so they're not actual Native Americans of any kind. It's just
no.
Okay,
no,
I got you.
Native.
Okay.
Some of them may have some Indian blood in them, but for the most part, it's paying homage to the true natives that were here when most of us came when we arrived.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, that makes sense now. I knew there was some history behind it all, but I wasn't clear on just how that was all networked together. So, Barry,
Right.
I have a couple of old friends and broadcast buddies of mine on the line also, Barry and Keith Adams. I don't know, why do I have to call your last name? Barry and Keith. I guess you're still official to me.
Well, I don't know why.
Well, I know why, because you used to be his boss.
Well, that's true.
I was
and both of y'all
never.
used to be my boss.
I was never his boss. Never. I was never your boss. Because if I was your boss, you would have done exactly what I said. You never did. So I was the guy that was supposed to build the fence, and I was constantly hammering.
Well,
Woo.
we just
But,
wanted to keep
Ernest
you busy.
James told me one day, he said, I'd rather pull you back than to push you. So I'm okay with you being you. I never forgot that.
Well, yeah.
And I guess that's what you were dealing with. You didn't have to push Lee or me. So,
Now,
but
he had to
you
put a
would-
rope around my neck.
You would rein us in, though.
Yes, sir.
No, I had some people I had to push, but you two were not in that group. No. What I had to do was make sure the rope was tight.
Keith, this is the first time I've heard that.
Hey man, I think I had to make sure the rope was tight.
Yeah, well.
And you did.
Hey, look, I still
I
have
had to
rope
hold
burns.
on.
I got rope burns around my neck.
I know you do. Lee, baby.
That's right. I was bad. I was always doing something I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah, man. And had no qualms about it.
Nope.
Fellas, I gotta jump, but Lee, I gotta say, what's the brother's name? That's your guest?
Spy Boy.
Spy Boy. Hey man, there's a heck of a story there in terms of the true relationship of African Americans and Native Americans. Because there was a lot of relationships going on as we developed from slavery to Jim Crow. But I think that story has never been told. The only time I've heard the story told was on the Richard Pryor album when he said, "Shut up, fool! Don't make the Indians mad at us too."
That's true.
But really though, man, there's another story there that needs to be told.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was just
never
speaking.
even heard of him. So Spy Boy is that could pertain to the whole group. Is that correct?
No, he's a member of the whole tribal thing. There's a Spy Boy. Spy Boy, do you know the pecking order of that? There's some other characters in there as well.
There's a Big Chief.
Big Chief, right?
Flag Boy. Yeah, Big Chief. He's the leader. There's a Flag Boy who carries the banner for the tribe.
Right.
There's the Spy Boy. There's the Spy Boy who actually goes out and scouts out ahead of the troop as they go along. And they have a queen or a squaw, if you want to call it, and some of the children. Depends on how many children they have. I don't think participation is mandatory, but you have whole families who are involved.
Wow, man, I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, yeah.
At all. I've never heard of it.
So it's a ceremonial thing.
Yeah, but just in the ceremonial hierarchy, there's a story there.
It is.
Wow.
Yep. And that's what this lady from Spelman was telling me.
Lee, Barry, and Spy Boy, I gotta jump. I'm also doing a little real estate, and I got a client with a question that I gotta go answer.
Yeah, no, that's that box of chocolate chip cookies you're trying to get after. I know.
Hey, Keith, wire me $1.
Huh?
I said, wire me $1.
Wire me $1. Get out of here,
Wire you
Barry.
$1.
Yeah, now it's gonna cost you $5 or send me $1, but don't worry about it. Get over it.
All right,
All right, take care.
on the lookout.
All right, I'll be in touch with you.
All right.
Love
you too.
Back.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Well, see there, folks, that's what happens on the Lee Michaels Show. You never know. You just don't know what you don't know. And it happens all the time when people just pop in. It's like Spy Boy. I've been worried about him for weeks. Haven't heard from him. And what happens? Pops up. And I'm glad to hear your voice, man, because I was really worried about you. So you did have a little illness that you had to contend with, huh?
Yeah. I had one of these summertime colds, and it kind of really knocked me out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've been on the back foot ever since, trying to maintain, But I survived.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. It's
sorry that I wasn't able to comment on the event, both conventions passed.
On the what?
I know both of those political conventions, Democratic.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I was waiting for your comments on that. Now let me ask you a question. Where the two candidates are right now, how do you see the landscape? What do you see as the end result on November 9th or 8th?
Well, that's interesting. You have the Queen, who we are coronating, or you have the upstart, the outsider in Trump. And this race is really too hard to tell, because right now Hillary has a big lead, but that means nothing when it comes to election day. People are going to show up to the polls.
That's true.
And I think that's the thing. Whoever can galvanize people together and get them out to the polls is really going to have an upper hand.
Yeah. Well, you're right. And right now the polls are showing that Hillary is 6 to 7 points ahead of Trump. There was a bigger gap a week or two ago. So he's narrowed the gap a bit. The question is, at the end of the day, who's going to show up at the polls? Now, also, I've seen reports where there's a pretty high level of voter registration for Republicans in certain key states. So it looks like the party is engaging or getting some voters excited about participating, and that's a good thing, because even though in the last couple of presidential races the voting level was at a somewhat of an all-time high, it still is low comparisons to the number of people in this country. So I'm encouraged and excited about there are more people registering to vote, because we need people to participate in the process, regardless of whether they're Democrats or Republicans. Now, of course, personally, I'd like to see the Democrats win, but that's just, a sidebar.
I'd have to add, Lee, that we're looking at a historic low turnout at the polls.
You think it's going to be low this time?
I think so. I think people are discouraged by the whole thing, because neither one of these candidates are very attractive.
Right. Yeah, it is a messy race.
And, you have a compulsive liar versus a businessman who is painting him as as a scourge.
I think that both don't have a good reputation when it comes to lying, because he's lied as well. So, I mean, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. They're both.
Except for his lies haven't had dire consequences.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know what we don't know. And maybe he hasn't, as relates to that, and then it's not clear that you can clearly put that blame on Hillary as a person, because when she was a Secretary of State, yeah, she made some critical decisions, but it was not without advisors and other people involved. So you're only as good as the people around you as well.
Yeah, but that makes her blunders even worse. She did it with Consul.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had the benefit of having different minds at it, and she flubbed it more than once. And both Hillary and Barack Obama had this 3 a.m. phone call, and both of them dropped the phone call. So
Well, I don't know about all that, but let me ask you this. Donald Trump, what qualities does he have to become president of the United States?
Well, I'll tell you, he's navigated the business world of New York quite well. You know, he took $1 million and he made more money with it. He didn't take $1 million and lose money with it, which is typical of what happens when people inherit money. So he increased his lot in life. He didn't decrease it.
Okay.
And New York is one of the battlegrounds of the world. You know, you don't half step in New York.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, most, if not, I would say most of his empire is outside of New York now, and around the world. So he has spread his tentacles out far and beyond New York now. But you're right. Okay, so he got lucky there. I'll give him that. So what else? I mean, but what qualities, other than the fact that he's been somewhat of a successful businessman, but we really don't know how successful he is based on his income tax returns because we have not seen those. We hear that he may be worth $10 billion or so, but that's hearsay. We don't know that. We don't really know whether his debt is a lot higher than his assets. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Those questions are superfluous, really. You know, it really has nothing to do with anything. It's just a
well, I think it does. Spy Boy, it does, because if he is not running his business efficiently, if he's upside down, then what makes him a great business person? What makes you think that he wouldn't do the same thing running our government?
Because if he were a failure, he wouldn't be running for president.
Well, anybody can run for president as long as you're not a felon.
Yeah, anybody can run for president, but few people do it successfully.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been a successful candidate.
Well, he's knocked off a bunch of lightweights in the process, but you're right. He has gotten a lot further than all the rest. I'll give you that.
Now, Lee, I'm delivering food to a cousin of mine.
Okay.
And so I'm going to have to go country on y'all. I'm going to have to drop off here for a second.
Okay. Well, go do your thing and call us back. Wait a minute. I only got about 8 minutes left on the show, so if you can get back in, that's fine. But really good hearing from you if we don't hear back from you in the next few minutes or so. But I'm glad the Spy Boy is healthy and doing okay, because Carol and I have been worried about him. We hadn't heard from him in a few weeks. And that's how we feel about our listeners. We care. We care about what you're doing, how you're doing, and that you're okay. We're compassionate people up in here, because we love life and we want you to live and have a great life and all of that. I don't know why I've got this little foggy thing here today. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Coming up at noon, in about 7 or 8 minutes from now, it's Full Body Frequency with your host, Laura Rice. She's got a great show for you. You want to tune into that. And then following that show is Chela Diaz with Woman's Wealth, and she talks about everything about money from a female perspective. So you want to check out Chela as well. All right here on thepowerofvoices.com, and a lot more. We've got Greg Bell, former Rams football player. He has a show here on the network. I think he comes on today at 6. Jesse T at 5 p.m. live. You'll be able to hear him live on the Power of Voices website and from our app or apps. Whether you have an iPhone or Android, we got you covered. They're free apps. You can download them from the stores. And we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So check it out. And then if you don't catch the whole show, you can go back and check it out later, because they're saved there forevermore. And the audio version are also archived on the powerofvoices.com. Just go to the Lee Michaels Show page, and then towards the bottom of the page, you can see our SoundCloud, or you can go directly to SoundCloud and search for the show name or the Power of Voices, and you can catch it out there. Catch it out, catch it, or check it out. What was that? One of those moments. But you can check us out 24/7, and that's the whole point. We'll try to make it as easy as possible for you, even for my old friends like Keith and Barry, who are technically challenged, but that's okay. I got you. No worries. Let's see, what else? Coming up later this week, I've got some interesting guests, and I'm trying to get them confirmed, but I got some politicians that I'm going to bring in and interview them, and we'll be able to ask questions about why you're running and what you're going to do. And these are some senators and House of Representative members that I'm trying to get on the show. So once we have those things booked, I'll let you know, and we'll have a good debate and some information passed on to you directly from the horses' mouths here on the Power of Voices, and that's what we're all about. Let's check the breaking news to see what's happening here since we've been on the air. As funnel clouds being spotted in Urbana, Iowa, oil figures dropped to 66 cents to settle at $46.98 a barrel.